On May 25, 1982, two formations of Argentinian aircraft soared dangerously low over the Falkland Islands, embarking on what could easily become a suicide run. Commanded by Captain Pablo Carballo, the squadron is flying outdated and poorly equipped, A-4 Skyhawks laden with heavy explosives. Their objective: the destruction of the British warships HMS Coventry and HMS Broadsword. Argentina has occupied the Falkland Islands, or the Malvinas as they refer to them, and eliminating these vessels is vital to maintaining their hold. The Argentinian forces are well aware that these two warships have repositioned closer to the islands to provide cover for British ground troops, a move that also offers the Argentinian jets a chance to approach masked from British radar. Entering their range, don't climb for any reason. The Skyhawks fly as low as humanly possible, tracing the rugged topography of the islands as they enter the enemy's radar envelope. Both British ships are armed with sophisticated anti-aircraft missiles and potent radar systems that have previously decimated Argentinian squadrons. The only chance of avoiding detection is to remain practically at sea level. Aboard HMS Coventry, Captain David Hart-Dyke has his crew at maximum readiness. British Special Forces had alerted him to a recent Argentinian sortie, though he remains unaware that his vessel is the primary target. His worst fears materialize when four distinct contacts light up the radar screen. Four contacts bearing 225, range 30. Captain Hart-Dyke instantly orders general quarters. Alarms sound across both vessels, and the formidable Sea Dart surface-to-air missile launchers rapidly pivot to track the incoming threat. Meanwhile, the Skyhawks reach Pebble Island, hugging its terrain. Isla de Bourbon ahead. Keep low and follow me. Through masterful, low-level flying, the Argentinian pilots effectively vanish from British radar screens, and the blips on the Coventry abruptly disappear. Contacts lost over Pebble Island. This is exactly what Captain Hart-Dyke dreaded. Pebble Island is far too close. The Sea Dart missiles require a minimum engagement distance, meaning they will now only have a single opportunity to fire, if they are lucky. Hart-Dyke quickly radios his companion ship. Broadsword, what is your status? HMS Broadsword is armed with the shorter-range Sea Wolf missile system, which is far better suited for close-quarters defense. In the cockpits of the Skyhawks, Carballo leads his pilots as close to the British vessels as possible, utilizing the landmass for cover. His aircraft lack radar and threat warning receivers, yet at a distance of just 10 nautical miles, they make visual contact with the enemy warships, starting the attack. Good luck, Captain. Carballo and his wingman, Lieutenant Carlos Rinke, initiate their attack run, pushing their throttles to the absolute maximum while skimming mere feet above the Whitecaps. Back on the Coventry, the two approaching Skyhawks finally trigger the radar systems. Two hostiles bearing 192, low level, complicating the situation. A British Harrier jump jet radios in, reporting its presence directly within the engagement zone. Captain, friendly aircraft 20 miles out. With a friendly fighter and hostile jets sharing the same airspace, the captain faces an agonizing choice. In a split second, he commits to a missile launch. Turn the Harrier away, shoot missiles. However, the targeting operators are unable to secure a lock. The Argentinians are flying incredibly low, barely above the ocean surface. Sea spray completely coats Carballo's canopy as he flies so low that the British radar systems struggle to differentiate the jets from the waves. Aboard the Coventry, adrenaline surges as the crew watches the enemy close the distance, while the Sea Dart missiles stubbornly refuse to lock on. Captain Hart-Dyke is gripped by the terrifying realization of a potentially fatal decision, hoping against hope that Broadsword's Sea Wolf missiles can neutralize the threat. On the Broadsword, the crew establishes visual contact. The Skyhawks are flying in such tight formation that the Seawolf's radar interprets them as a single entity. They secure a lock as the Argentinian jets barrel toward them. Suddenly, the single radar contact splits into two distinct targets, causing the two conflicting sets of data to completely crash the missile guidance computer. The missiles are not responding. Restart them. But time has run out. Lookouts on the Coventry spot the incoming Skyhawks with their naked eyes and scream warnings. In a desperate final measure, HMS Coventry's deck guns swivel and unleash a barrage, quickly supplemented by the deafening chatter of small arms as sailors across the deck open fire with rifles and machine guns. Carballo watches the impacts of the British shells churning the water ahead of him and sees the glowing tracer rounds creeping dangerously close, adjusting their aim. The enemy warship looms large in his windshield. He can almost taste the victory, but the defensive fire is becoming overwhelmingly accurate. He instinctively knows they won't survive the approach. Change to the other one. He commands an immediate target switch, redirecting their assault toward the Broadsword. The two jets violently bank away from the Coventry's concentrated fire, screaming past her hull as they align for their new attack run. The Skyhawk pilots squeeze their triggers, releasing their 1,000-pound bombs. The ordnance plummets into the ocean, violently skipping off the surface of the water like flat stones. The crew of the Broadsword watches in horror as the two enormous bombs bounce twice before hurtling directly toward them. One bomb strikes the water and sinks just short of the hull. The second, however, slams violently into the side of the Broadsword. The impact deflects the bomb upward. It erupts through the flight deck and continues its trajectory, tumbling harmlessly into the sea on the other side without detonating. Carballo is devastated by the failure, but the assault is far from over. Trailing them is the second element, piloted by First Lieutenant Mariano Angel Velasco and Ensign Jorge Nelson Barrionuevo. Their aircraft are armed with smaller 250-kilogram bombs, which are known to be far more reliable. Aboard the British ships, the radar now displays all 4 hostile contacts. Captain Hart-Dyke orders an immediate hard turn to starboard, attempting to position his vessel so the missile batteries can engage all targets simultaneously. The Coventry's weapons operators finally secure a radar lock on Velasco, and the Sea Dart launchers pivot to track him. Shoot! A blinding flash illuminates the Coventry's deck as the missile launches with a thunderous roar, trailing a thick plume of smoke. At that exact moment, Velasco and his wingman drop even lower toward the waves. They vanish from the British radar scope, causing the missile to fly blindly straight ahead. The sailors watch in dismay as the Sea Dart loses its track and sails harmlessly into the distance. Velasco observes the missile streak past a mere 500 meters to his right, but his gaze remains fixed on HMS Coventry as he rapidly closes the gap. Meanwhile, the crew on the Broadsword is frantically rebooting their missile guidance systems as the Skyhawks bear down on them. Sailors stare anxiously at blank monitors in a desperate race against the incoming jets and the booting sequence of their computers. Come on! Finally, the screens flicker to life and the operators scramble into action. The Skyhawks are painted by the Sea Wolf radar. The launchers pivot, and a solid lock is achieved. But then, to their absolute horror, they watch on their monitors as HMS Coventry sails directly into the line of fire. God damn it, the Coventry is in the way. In their frantic maneuver to engage all targets, the Coventry has inadvertently masked the only missile system capable of firing. The captain of the Broadsword desperately tries to alter course to secure a clear line of sight, but it is simply too late. In the cockpits of the Skyhawks, Velasco and Barrionuevo are mere seconds from their target. Aboard the Coventry, Captain Hart-Dyke issues the order for all weapons to fire independently. available cannon and machine gun joins the fray, unleashing a torrent of lead at the incoming aircraft. The primary 4.5-inch naval gun fires blindly into the ocean, its crew realizing the targeting sights are completely misaligned. Compounding the disaster, the primary 20mm anti-aircraft cannon jams at the worst possible moment. The gunners frantically attempt to clear the weapon as the Argentinian jets close in. In a final desperate act of defiance, sailors all over the ship raise their rifles and fire. The ocean surface erupts as the entire weight of the British defense is hurled at the advancing Skyhawks, but it is ultimately futile. "Brace, brace, brace!" The command echoes over the ship's intercom as officers scream for everyone to hit the deck. Men dive for any available cover, bracing for the inevitable impact. Velasco watches the massive warship fill his entire field of vision and squeezes the trigger. His A-4's twin 20mm cannons roar to life, raking the ship's deck and superstructure with a devastating volley of armor-piercing rounds. He maintains the barrage for as long as possible before finally releasing his payload. The bombs detach, tracing a lazy arc through the air before violently slamming into the hull of HMS Coventry. They penetrate the steel plating, the impact resonating through the vessel as two dull, heavy thuds. Yet, there is no immediate explosion. The second Skyhawk screams overhead without deploying its weapons, its release mechanism having failed. The seconds stretch into eternity. The crew begins to slowly rise, glancing around in a state of terrified confusion. A voice crackles over the intercom to report damage, but the transmission is abruptly cut short. The bombs detonate. Two catastrophic explosions violently rock HMS Coventry. High above, the Argentinian pilots erupt in celebration as they witness thick black smoke billowing from the warship. They had achieved the impossible. Ooh, ha ha ha. Boom, dude. Goal. Long live the nation. The first detonation, occurring directly beneath the bridge, blows a massive hole in the ship's flank and obliterates the computer room. The resulting fire rapidly spreads through the corridors, engulfing the operations room where Captain Hart-Dyke and the tactical operators were stationed. The second bomb detonates within the forward engine room, igniting a massive blaze and instantly knocking out all electrical power and propulsion systems. Captain Hart-Dyke slowly regains consciousness. He is enveloped in thick, acrid smoke and total devastation. Agonizing screams echo through the darkness. He tries to locate the source, but the cries seem to echo from every direction simultaneously. He struggles to his feet, immediately noticing the severe list of the deck. He reaches for the intercom, but the system is completely dead. There is nothing left to do. He must abandon ship. The captain slowly navigates through the choking smoke and twisted corridors, listening to the agonizing sounds of the ship groaning and fracturing beneath him. Miraculously, he locates an exit and stumbles out into the freezing air of the South Atlantic. Standing on the tilted deck, his immediate concern is for his crew. However, instead of panic, he witnesses a remarkably disciplined and professional evacuation. His sailors, having drilled for this exact scenario, are executing their duties flawlessly. Crewmen are hauling injured comrades from smoke-filled compartments and administering first aid on the slanted deck, while others deploy life rafts and assist their crewmates in donning survival gear. Hart-Dyke feels the steel deck shifting violently beneath him as the vessel's list worsens. Disoriented and injured, he is forced to sit on the rapidly overturning hull as the rest of the crew abandons the ship. Eventually, everyone is gone, save for Captain Hart-Dyke. He sits alone on the capsizing hull of the Coventry. He takes one final look at his burning command. He has fulfilled his ultimate duty as captain. Finally, as the absolute last man aboard, he climbs into the final survival raft and drifts slowly away from his ruined ship. Thanks to the exceptional discipline and professionalism of the British sailors, 170 survivors would be rescued from the freezing waters by HMS Broadsword and Royal Navy helicopters. Tragically, however, 19 men lost their lives in the engagement. All 4 Argentinian pilots managed to return to their base and land safely. They had accomplished their perilous mission, though their tactical victory would ultimately fail to alter the outcome of the war. For another incredible story of modern aerial combat, check out this film detailing the ambush of American F-15 Eagles by Iraqi MiG-29.